moment we've waited for. AbilityMKE Now.
Welcome to AbilityMKE Now. My name is Sue Roskopf. Here at AbilityMKE Now, we are dedicated to inclusion, connection, community, bringing people together, being relevant to everybody. And that is what we do here, bringing people with disabilities and people that don't have a disability together, enjoying life here in the Milwaukee area. We all have our own experience with disability, whether it's our own, with people we know, or with people we encounter in our everyday lives. We all have different and unique abilities, and that is what we celebrate. Here at AbilityMKE Now, we celebrate the ability in all of us. And we have some amazing people joining us today, and I can hardly wait to get this conversation started. First up, we have Russ Hedge joining us. He is an inspirational speaker, and he is here to inspire and encourage your team. He's a marketing coach with over 30 years of sales and marketing success in multiple industries, and he can help you be successful in your business by helping you truly connect. The secret is building community through those authentic connections, and that's where transformation takes place. And you are speaking my language when I'm hearing all these pieces. Russ, so happy you're here. Welcome.
Oh, it is so great to be here, Sue. Thanks so much for having me.
So I wonder if you can dive in a bit more and tell us about a little bit of your journey along the way here and what you're all doing now.
Well, I tell you, I love people right off the bat. So I'm all about people. I love all about connection and community building. So I love to bring people together. And I've been in sales and marketing my whole life. And I feel like the foundation of any good marketing plan or any good business is connection and community building. I really think that's the foundation of any good life, really. And so I really help people come together. I talk a lot about purpose and perspective. And I love that. I have started off doing marketing coaching with my business and then expanded to speaking and live streaming and podcasting, and then became an international best-selling author and did all kinds of fun things. So I love that because it all is helping encourage people, inspire them is what I'm all about too, and then bringing them together and connecting. So that's what I love to do.
Excellent. Well, and I know you have written a book. What is the name of your book?
So actually 6 books, but my
Ooh.
latest is Life Happens and Then You Choose, all about perspective in life, especially when you're going through life challenges. It's always good to have a good perspective. I love, there's a thing called the Divine Equation by Chip Ingram, and he says that circumstances plus your perspective equals your experience. So based on how you look at your experience, circumstances in your life, that's really what kind of experience you have. That's why you get two people in the same room and they have two totally different experiences in that room because they have different perspectives. And so that's really interesting. And I could just bring up the fact that the last 3.5+ years been going through a cancer journey and had a lot of chance to practice that.
And I've heard over and over, attitude makes all the difference along the way because that's a tough journey. There's so much happening, so much unknown.
Yeah.
You want to dive into that just a bit?
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, my oncologist, one of my 3 oncologists and my different oncology teams, she told me that my perspective and mindset would do more for me. My positive attitude would do more for me than anything they could do, any treatment, any medicine. She said, you don't know what a difference that makes. And so that was really a blessing to hear, obviously, because I'm kind of a positive, upbeat guy. So I thought, well, that's a good thing going in my favor. But yeah, I mean, because there is a lot of unknown. When you hear you have cancer, it kind of stops the presses, right? Suddenly your mortality is thrown right in your face. And there's a lot that goes along with that. And I've become disabled because of that. I have very little hearing left. I've had eye surgery. I became a type 1 diabetic. I it shut down my adrenal glands and my thyroid. A lot of things happened because of the treatment. I love my doctors. They did a great job. Some of the medicine just didn't like my body. So I've learned to live what I talk about, right? When I talk about positive mindset and perspective, I've had a lot of practice doing that firsthand.
Amazing. And that's hard. That when you're in the middle of the struggle of I don't know what's happening, I don't know what's going to happen next. Can say it, I'm blessed to have not gone through that type of a journey myself. And but that's not to say something like that's not coming in the future because we have a local friend here that calls people like me a tab, temporarily able-bodied. We all have to get that perspective of, just because things are good now, we all sure hope things stay that way, but as we age, things happen. And to be able
Yeah.
to keep that positive mental space, that I've been hearing that honestly more and more recently about the difference that makes. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And, just like the title of my book, Life Happens every day of your life. And then you get to choose. Then you get to choose what is your perspective? Where do you go? All these things. It's interesting, Sue, because my first book that I ever wrote was called Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. And what that was about, don't live your life befuddled and out of sorts, live the life you choose. And I had some people say to me, I can't live the life I choose. I cannot control what happens to me. And I would say to them, you're exactly right. You can't control what happens to you, but life happens and then you choose. And my co-host and good friend, I said that phrase so many times. He's like, dude, that's your next book for sure. Because that was my theme and everything. It's because life is happening. The unknown is happening to us all the time. And I just thank God for just great support. I have a beautiful wife. I have two amazing adult children and a wonderful daughter-in-law, an amazing community of friends that have been very supportive. So we're going through those unknown times with support makes it easier, and that's a blessing.
I love that. Well, and I know you've worked with a lot of people over the years too, from the with having that role of being a speaker and coach. I love stories when it comes to how people are working with others. Do you have any that you like to share from your experience over the years?
Wow. I mean, I've had so many good experiences. Life is filled with ups and downs, but I always like to focus on the positive experiences. And one that I will tell you right off the bat is my good friend, Mr. D. Scott Smith, who he and I are both from Oregon. And we both graduated from Oregon State University the same year, the same ceremony, but we didn't know each other. And then we met through networking and through a Chamber of Commerce in Corvallis, Oregon. And we got to be just the best of friends and started doing life together, started doing, working together and doing things. But we were having coffee at the New Morning Bakery in Corvallis, Oregon in October of 2019. And he was like encouraging me, you should get a different revenue stream. You need to have something like, since you're already coaching and teaching, you should do marketing coaching. And since you're already speaking, you should go out and do, motivational and inspirational speaking. And by the way, have you thought about podcasting? And what about writing a book? And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. And so the funny thing was, I started my business, got my website, but my corporate job was 12 hours a day. And so when I got home, I was not working on my other business. I was too tired. So then what happened? Here comes 2020 and the whole world shuts down. And suddenly I am prepared to go right in to my new business. Thank God every day that I was prepared and ready to go. And my beautiful wife said to me, now's your time. If this is what you feel God was leading you to do, you need to go for it because the world has stopped and you have all this time to work on it. And so it was a blessing. And so that was one of the greatest, most recent experiences that I've gone through. And I'm just very thankful for that.
Awesome. I love that. And so with all the folks that you work with along the way too, do you have folks now that since you've been going through this cancer journey, do you have others that are in that same boat that they're like, I was just diagnosed
Yeah.
where do I go? Where do you start with people? How do you talk them through those first moments?
Yeah, well, it's honestly, it is been challenging at times because I've had friends that have been diagnosed and have already gone to heaven in the middle of my journey. So they've already been diagnosed and are already gone. And that could be hard. I have a story about, and this is actually in my book too. Last Father's Day, had a friend. She was a 20 plus year breast cancer survivor. And she said to me, I am supporting you. Everybody's behind you. Russ, you're an inspiration and we just love you. And she sent me a card on Father's Day, which I have in my Bible here right beside me. And she, about 2 weeks later, calls me and she tells me that she's been diagnosed with the cancer had come back into her bones and her lungs. And so then she tells me, I talked to her a few weeks later and she goes, if you could come see me in the hospital, that'd be awesome because if you don't come in the next couple of days, I'll be gone. And so I was able to go and encourage her, her family, pray with her, just be a support. And that was a blessing, even though it was very sad because it was just a couple of days after I saw her that she was gone. But I've had some other amazing stories of people because the cancer communities I'm in that have had stage 4 cancer like me, I was stage 4, and then they are completely no cancer, no sign of disease like I am right now, praise God. And so just thankful for that. So there's both sides of the coin. It can be a little hard to deal with the other side at times, but you know what? That's when you choose just to keep going and stay positive.
'Cause life really is all about those choices. And every day we're making that choice. Am I going to fight? Am I going to be happy? Am I going to crawl under a rock? Where am I going with where I am right
Yeah,
now? How am I going to handle this? And it is a choice. And
it
I
is.
think too many of us forget that piece of the puzzle here, that really how we react, how we choose to move forward, it really is, we're in more control of that than I think we want to admit at times.
Well, I agree. And sometimes it's way harder than people think because it is a lot easier to say than it is to do. But it is definitely possible. And having a good perspective that I talk about, remember, everyone, it's not being happy all the time. Nobody is happy all the time. People look at me and they say to me, oh, you're happy all the time. No, I'm not. When I was going through cancer treatment and I was really sick, I was not happy. But I kept a good perspective knowing that I would get through that. My dad used to always say when I was young, tomorrow's a new day. And that was like, you'll wake up with a fresh perspective, everything will be new, and you get to start over, and in a sense. And so, I always look to the good things ahead. And one of the biggest things I deal with right now, besides the diabetes, is the hearing loss. It's really hard for me when I'm in a room of people, and I'm huge on being with people. It's really hard for me to understand people. And I have about a 20% uh, that I understand out of 100% of people's talking. So it takes a lot of work for me to focus, pay attention, and it can be uh, tough sometimes. It can be tough. But people, I find, are very graceful when I just tell them, hey, I don't hear very well. So if you can help me, that would be great. And I find that people are really good with that. So there's always a way through that. You can still do good things. Life does not stop. You can keep moving forward.
Excellent. Oh, I love it. So, well, again, this is Russ Hedge that we are talking with so far, and we do have some more friends that are in the wings waiting to join this conversation too. So, first up, we've got Jim Pehkonen, who has been with us in the past and has got some amazing uh, bits of wisdom that he's often shared with us. He is a life architect, and that's where I think Jim and Russ, you gotta have some more conversations after tonight because you
Well,
guys are very much
yeah,
cut from the same cloth.
we
Welcome.
are peas in a we are thank you, and everybody listening, thank you. Yeah, we are definitely peas in a pod. This on St. Patty's Day, it was 12 years ago, right around this time, that they discovered a cancer tumor inside of me, Russ. And I remember when I was diagnosed, because when I was diagnosed, the doctor came in and they're like, you have this dark growth. And I'm like, well, is it cancer? And they're like, well, we just call it growth. And I'm like, oh, so this is the Huntsman Growth Institute? And she's like, that's not funny. And I'm like, yeah, it really is. But that night I went home and I did some deep meditation. And in that meditation, I talked to the spirit of my cancer tumor. And what I did is I took the W from the growth, I put it in my column, and I gave the name of my tumor of Groff. And it was on the morning of St. Patty's Day, that morning at the house. You know, when they go into surgery, they put a mark on you.
Mhm.
That
Yep.
morning, we drew a 4-leaf clover on the left side of my body where they were going to be taking an organ out. So when I got there and they're ready with their purple marker, I was like, look, and everybody laughed. And I will have to say, attitude gives you altitude.
Yeah, Dan,
Because
that's right.
even though with my cancer, they had 3 discussions that you might die on the table because of the size of it and the location of it. So I had to get everything ready. And after I woke up and I survived, I got a dog, had it trained as a therapy dog, and we spent up until COVID every week spending half a day going and talking and sitting with not only people with cancer but the staff at Huntsman. So I 3.5 years I was blessed because when they got the tumor out, I didn't have that was it. There was no chemo, no radiation. So I was blessed, but I have sat with hundreds of people, and I will say it is your attitude that is the biggest thing you can do. If you're out there and God forbid you ever get diagnosed with cancer, you've got to find a way, because your attitude, I really believe that makes the biggest difference.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And even last year, I had a near death experience and I was in the ICU for 6 days. And I was going to share one little story because they kept sending different nurses in. Every time you do the nurse call, except for Christian, my day nurse, it would be a different one. And when you're on all those pharmaceuticals, and I was on pain pills because I had 5 broken ribs, a braided lung, a broken spine, and they had to do emergency surgery to put a stent in my femoral artery. I figured the nurses didn't like me. I'm like, nobody likes me. And every time they come in, I would make a difference. I'm a coach, I'm a life architect. So I would brighten everybody's day. And finally, the last person before I got transferred out, we went and we did what we had to do. And then when she came back, she grabbed one of my hands with both of her hands and she's like, thank you. And I'm like, thank you. And we had talked about some of her stuff in life. She says, yeah, she says, we all are fascinated by your charts and that you're still alive. She says, everybody wants to come see you. She says, I'm glad that I got to experience the experience. And
Yeah.
I sat in my room and I cried for about 20 minutes.
Attitude
That's
makes
amazing.
the difference. Oh my gosh.
It really, and no, it's like, if you're like me, like we got a foot of snow yesterday, you could have the attitude of, oh boy, all that snow's got to get shoveled there. But no, we finally got winter. We finally got winter.
Beautiful. Oh, I do have a couple more friends that are here, and I want to bring them in to join the conversation as well. Another
Yeah.
longtime friend, Deby Miller, is here as well. So, Deby, come on in and say hello if you want to do a quick intro and join the conversation. How you doing?
Hello, everyone. Yes, thank you for having me. I love getting to be part of your group and get to see Russ again and to meet Jim. And always good to see you, Sue. Um, I'm just here to observe. I'm with Legal Shield and ID Shield. So for those who need some assistance with having a lawyer in their back pocket, I love being able to help them, whether it's for their family or their business. Both of them I can help with almost all over North America. And sadly, we all need an attorney in our back pocket for those what if situations, and to be prepared before it happens is always a better thing than waiting until afterwards. My husband had was on dialysis for 11 years, and so having a lot of things that went on in his life and keeping up with all the crazy things that we all need to do every day. And I'm really glad to hear that both of you guys have great stories as well. It's a great way to connect, but even better that their stories have good endings. So thank you for sharing all your stories.
Yes, I'd like to say that I am a Legal Shield customer. So thank you.
Wow, thank you. It's great to hear.
Excellent.
Thanks.
We do have another friend that is in the back wings here as well. Daniel Rubenstein is with us. Daniel, glad to have you in as well. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Kurt, send me a note in so you know what that means. You show up and go, okay, hi.
Excellent. I'm going to just do a quick intro so the guys all know who you are.
Sure, thanks. Well, they say the fortune's in the follow-up, right?
Mhm.
So my question is, how well do you follow through on your follow-up? I call it the follow-up factor. How quickly, consistently, and specifically are you getting back in touch with the people you said I'll get back to you? Like if you want to make more money, that's the simplest thing to focus on. And so we've got a product program around how to help people collect, combine, clean up all their contacts to have a much better, bigger, better, stronger database. When that happens, the rest of the pieces of the puzzle start to fall into place much more easily. So let us help you get your sheet together.
I love that. That is the best tagline ever. Beautiful. So, well, I just want to ask, does anyone have questions for each other in the room here? Because we do have one more friend in the wings, but I'm not sure if she is able to hop in and join the conversation. So just turn your camera on if you want to do that. But otherwise, you guys, I'm guessing you guys have questions for each other.
Yeah, I actually wanted to say to Daniel, this more of a comment. I'm all about connection and community building, but one of the biggest things people miss is staying connected, really connected with people. And part of that is how you follow up with people, how you deal with people on an ongoing basis. And to show people you care, you have to be able to do things like that. I love the John Maxwell quote that says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And people know you care by number one, listening to them, and number two, doing what you say. And when you say you're going to follow up and do things, you do that, and that shows them physically by your action that you care. So I'm all about that.
Thank you. It's such a true point. And I've always said, I think 4 out of 5 lost sales are due to failed follow-up. They didn't get a chance to say yes or no. And we've all probably been guilty of that. I know that's what, like, right before I'm going to bed, like you get that, oh, and Sue knows what I'm talking about right there
Oh, I
because she's
do.
like, yeah, it's like,
Been there.
can't call him now. And listen, nobody got into business for this kind of stuff. And I realize it's not exactly the sexy, fun marketing thing, but trust me, it works. And we take care of most everything for you. So love to talk with people.
Some of the most simple things make all the difference. Daniel, you'll have to connect with me at russedge.com.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. And we do have Marianne of Waikiki in the house as well. Marianne, how are you?
Aloha, Milwaukee. It's Marianne of Waikiki. I'm the author of the Acts of Kindness series, featuring 200 folk man as puppets. My books are written for animation movies with sign language characters and a soundtrack by Lucy and the Perfect Wave. So we are doing a weekly book club on the World of Ability podcast, diving deep into our first book, Underwater Acts of Kindness, featuring Noah the hard of hearing whale, who loses his hearing in a boating accident and meets Dr. Fingers, the finger spelling hermit crab, and learns to learn the ASL finger spelling sign language letters. Excuse me. And so we're excited to get that every week out there. So please join us on the World of Ability. Next month, we'll be going into World Water Day, so we'll have more exciting guests from United Nations. So thank you so much, Milwaukee. I got to take some water.
You're good. And actually, yesterday happened to be National Random Acts of Kindness Day. So if you did not get a chance to do a random act of kindness yesterday, do it tomorrow. Do it the next day. It's every day is a good day for that. So, Russ, I want to give you a moment to make sure to any last thoughts that you have that you want to make sure to share while we have you here tonight.
Well, it's been such a blessing to meet everybody and be with y'all. I know I've seen Debbie before at some networking meetings, but yeah, everybody else is fairly new to me, and I just really love to connect. So please reach out to me. I am here to inspire and encourage you. That's what I'm all about, and I love to connect and build community. Whatever I can do to give and lift other people, that's what I love to do. And I've just been blessed that God's allowed me to do that in my life. And like I had said, even though I went through this cancer journey, and well, still going through it because of all the things that it involves, such a positive place right now, being no sign of disease, being able to use that journey to inspire and encourage so many people. I talk about it in Life Happens, and then you choose my latest book, and just a way to encourage people and bless them. And I'm just so thankful to be on amazing programs with people like you, Sue. This is so great. So I'm just so thankful that Kurt got me all connected and just blessed to be here.
Excellent. And if you could mention, what is your website?
So it's super difficult. If you know my name, you're in good shape. RussHedge.com. RussHedge.com is where you go. And I'm a simple-minded guy. So that's what I do. Just keep it myname.com. I mean, how can you miss, right? So yes, everything about me is there. A way to connect with me and just learn about me. It's all there.
Excellent. And Jim, I'm going to pass it to you next. Take home message for everybody and what your thoughts are from tonight.
So take home message. I want to go with altitude. Attitude gives you altitude. And if you get in funky headspace, Milwaukee, do something to shift your attitude because it will increase your altitude. So, and I wish I had a simple name, Russ, like you, but with the last name of Pehkonen, if I had the jimpehkonen.com, I would never know. So my website is amazinglifedesign.com. So as a life architect, the deeper the trauma, the easier it is for me to do my work. So, and I've also written a few books. Not as cool of a title as yours, because mine kind of deal with healing trauma, but yeah. And everybody in Milwaukee, you all create a phenomenal week.
And that's what it's all about, creating your path, creating and deciding
Yep.
what is next. So Debbie, I'm going to hand it over to you next. Final thought from you.
Well, we've heard some awesome stories, and it's just great to connect. And I think everybody needs to connect with Russ and Jim and Daniel and Marianne. So, and of course, Sue. We all need to keep you in our contact list. So, thank you for bringing me on, and great to see everybody. Thanks.
And Daniel, you're next.
Debbie Dub, I see your name plenty of times on people's lists. It's kind of cool to meet you.
Thanks. It's good to meet you as well.
And listen, thanks for Kurt for sending me a note last minute to let me know about this. It's great to talk with you all. And, you know, if you're interested, I would love to talk to you. I put my information in the link. Russ, I did book a time, but you're busy for the next month. So in case you want to talk before then, that's when you really know you're doing it right. When you're too busy to talk to people, that you're booked a month out, like that's premium.
Oh, and you guys are amazing. Can't thank you enough for all of us here with AbilityMKE Now. We thank you.